Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, smashing envy, strong style, cinephile, one half the reigning, defending MPW tag team champions, of course. Now, Echo. All 5 episodes are on Disney Plus. Let's geek about it for a scant few minutes now. I will not take you blow by blow for each episode. I thought about doing that individually, but then I was like, nah, I don't want to, because there's elements of the series, parts of the series that I wouldn't mind kind of redoing or rewatching. Other parts, the greater portion of it, like, I don't care. Like, you can see it once and be cool with it. And it's like I said in the previous video, like before there was like this train of thought of who asked for this and why are we doing this? Why is she getting a spinoff? We saw the trailers and we were like, oh shit, this shit's gonna be hype because they're leaning into the feel, the visceral feel of Daredevil and the Netflix Daredevil series. So the hype was strong, and then they kind of lean into that in like the first episode. Got to look at Daredevil. Got to look at Kingpin. I liked it because it was origin, kind of catch you up on Echo, on Maya, and kind of showed you her childhood, how she lost her leg, and then kind of taking us through the events through Hawkeye, and brings us to where we are now, which of course would be an MCU project without you having to do some kind of research, do some work to look at some of the other content that has come before. Not a whole lot, but it helps to know kind of what the situation is. It is what it is. That's just what they do. And while Alakwa, is that how you say her name? Cox, she's great. She's phenomenal in it. I wanted to see more of Echo. She leans into the action stuff. Just the idea that she is actually, like, missing that leg, that she actually is deaf, for her to be portraying the character that she is, I think it's a really cool part of the show. And just there's something I was trying to figure out a way how to describe, but just the fact that like sign language is such a huge part of the show and a huge part of the way all these characters communicate with Maya. I don't know. They have to bring like a different level of delivery as far as like the way they're emoting or trying to get what they're feeling across, and it's just cool because I think it's challenging for the actors, and it kind of just adds just something different. Like I said, I don't really know how to describe it to a T, but there's just something different in this show with the characters as they interact with Maya, whether or not she's laughing and having a good time with them, or she's arguing with them, or they're getting into some deep emotional stuff, these deep emotional back and forth like she has with her grandmother at one point. The fact that we'd be so used to seeing those types of situations where characters just talk verbally to each other, and they're signing through it. It's different. It's cool. I like it. The action is good for that, mostly for that first episode. There's like little bits elsewhere, but I think they pretty much peaked in that first episode. It's almost like the Falcon and Winter Soldier, where you feel like they kind of peaked with the action in the first episode with the helicopter chase that Sam was doing. One thing that I've said many times in Marvel about these Marvel series is that they start off strong, they kind of lag in the middle, and then they peter out in the end. And it sucks to say that Echo is the exact same way. Now we come into this Echo's Maya's presence in the MCU without the powers that she has from the comics. In the comics, she can mimic anybody's moves, fighting style. She's kind of Taskmaster-esque in a way. But in this universe, MCU, they don't give her that. They give her a reason to have the name Echo and kind of an on-the-nose sort of exposition dump in like the in the 4th episode, kind of leads you into why her name is like, why the series is called Echo, or why she could conceivably take the name Echo at a certain point in time in the future. I was kind of like, when they got to it, I was kind of like rolling. I felt like you could tell from like the first episode, this is where they're going. But when they did it, I was kind of like, oh, that's come on. She has like a little bit of superpower by the end of it. The fact that you have a Native American character, there immediately needs to and always needs to be like a spiritual connection to their ancestors, um, in a way that kind of affects the story. Like, can we do something else with it? Just so there's certain narrative decisions um, made that I'm just like, why? And then just some of the stuff in that last episode, um, in the climactic sequence, which you'll see when you watch it, it's just like, bro, why? Like, why? Vincent D'Onofrio was great in it as Kingpin. Love to see more Kingpin. The post-credit scene that we're gonna get that kind of teases us into how they're gonna do Daredevil and how Kingpin's narrative track for Daredevil. It's exciting. I like it. But he was great in it. Although, again, episode 5, where the petering out really, goes down. It's unfortunately the wave of like the downpouring, the flood of shit downhill that this series falls into, takes the Kingpin along with it. I mean, he really goes. He's like, it was like in Hawkeye. It just so many of these, they just run together and how they feel, because it's like he started off as a strong presence in Hawkeye, and he goes out by like a bitch, gets yeeted by the truck, and then shot by Maya, which, like I said, events kind of feed into this. He starts off strong and a presence in this, and then he kind of goes down and out like a bitch. Like, all in all, Echo Maya is an interesting character. She adds something to the MCU. I would like to I'm curious to kind of see what they can do with her going forth, if they have more from her, and how she intermixes with some of these, whether it's the grounded street level heroes like Daredevil in more Marvel spotlight sort of umbrella banner type of content, or if she gets pulled into the big leagues with some of the super powered cosmic, type of individuals. So she's good, but the series as a whole, I can see why they wanted to reshoot a lot of it. Who knows if it was any worse before they did all the reshoots and stuff, but you should watch the series. It's good. It's 5 episodes, like 5 hours, easy binge. Are you gonna want to watch it again? Probably not. Outside of like the first episode for some of the action in that, but I mean, people are gonna clip it and put it on YouTube and social media and shit, so you can watch it there. It just continued a trend with these MCU shows where they start off strong, have a laggy middle, they kind of peter out at the end. I think like every one of them has suffered from this. Now, She-Hulk was a little bit different, and I'm kind of a mark for She-Hulk, and how they did things. I'm happy, like the ending, the way they did it. She'll kind of have maybe a little bit of a laggy middle, but the way the ending played out, to some people, it kind of petered out. But for me, it was totally on brand for like how She-Hulk was in the comics, like the sensational She-Hulk type of stuff from the comics, totally on brand. So I was fine with that. But all the other series, your Falcon and Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, WandaVision, they start off strong, lag in the middle, and then just peter out. Loki as well. As they look to kind of scale back the content that they're putting out, and they look to retool and actually have a true writer's room with a writer, showrunner type of setup and approach to series that are to come, like Daredevil, and how they're rebooting that from the mess apparently that it was to doing something different. Hopefully they just figure out just how to make better stuff. Like I said, like the fact that the dude, whose name escapes me, who took back over Disney, is saying that they're putting out too much stuff. I'm like, no, they're not putting out too much stuff or putting out like too many characters or this or that. It's just put out shit that's good, that doesn't suck, and you'll be fine. So hopefully they can figure out whatever it is they need to figure out from a narrative standpoint with these scripts that they're turning in for these series, and they can just give us better shows. That's what you need to do. It can be done. You just have to figure out how to do it, and all will be good, I like to think. But I don't know, like I said, show's good. The show is worth watching, at least once. I liked the the visuals you get to see of the Native American culture that's involved in that. There's like a Native American like language dub in it. That's cool that they um, did that. Just kind of the hand in hand working with that they did with those folks. So that's cool. Um, like I said, seeing more Maya Lopez, giving her some love, cool. Um, Seeing more Kingpin, some more Daredevil, very cool. It just wasn't as good as it could have been, which is par for the course for all these MCU shows that are on Disney Plus. So it's more of the same. So if you like that stuff, you probably like you seeing this at least like once. Oh yeah, Moon Knight. Moon Knight started off decent, and then it tanked quick, nosedived quick. Um, but it is what it is. Hopefully things are better going forth, and we can really look forward to better DC Plus content to come. Will that happen? Remains to be seen. We'll all find out together in the end, as we always do. But those are some of my thoughts on it, scattered as they often are. What do you guys out there think? Anyone in the comments below. Follow me on social media. Talk to me there. Talk to me here. Till next time, let us geek.